All right, let's see if we are live. I think we are live. Got a little bit of a different setup here today. Let's see who all tunes in. We look live. Let's see. Are we live? Let's see. If you're out there, say hello. Let me know that we're live. I have a little bit of a different setup here today, so let's see. Let's see, are we live? We are live. Okay. Cool. All right, we are live. Let me get to what it is I want to cover here today. Well, first off, let me say hello, greetings, everyone. If you're here, say hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This isn't my normal setup. Welcome guys to Sunday afternoon stream. As you can see, it's a similar setup to the porch stream I did back in the wintertime. What I didn't take into consideration is the North Carolina weather. It is extremely hot here. So I did set up outside, and like within a matter of minutes, I started to sweat and the camera lost the image. So I guess everything started to overheat, so I'm not sure. But in any event, about 15 minutes ago, I didn't know whether or not I was going to get the stream off the ground or not. So I had to quickly just move everything from outside to inside. But I am doing a remote stream via cellular bonding. It's just not out on the front porch. It's in my back room. I have a 3-season room. So I'm in what they call in the North Carolina southern area, Florida and all that, a lanai. Now, typically a lanai is a screened-in room, but we took the extra mile and we encased it with windows and sliding doors so that we can make it a 3-seasons room. So, double audio, interesting. Jay says double audio. Hold on 1 second. Thank you guys. Let me shut that off. Is that any better? I just shut the camera off. So, I apologize for that. So I just got this A10 Mini back. It's been gone for a couple of years. It's the first time I'm using it. It's the A10 Mini Pro. It's the first time I'm using it in about 3 or 4 years. And I had to update all of the software on the device and the Blackmagic control software as well on the computer. And I completely overlooked the fact that channel 1 had the audio turned on because I'm running the Rode Wireless Go into mic 1. So let's see. Thank you, Joe. Joe says fixed. I don't have a way of putting the comments on the screen right now without overworking this laptop. This is the 2014 MacBook Pro that I mentioned the other night in the stream. And yeah, so it's doing a couple of things today. It's giving me access to the YouTube Studio. It's giving me access to the web user interface of the Peplink. And it's giving me access to at least read my comments in the studio. So I'm not sure how many people are going to show up here today. I mean, this is kind of just like a test stream. What I'm really trying to test is the Peplink bonding service through Speed Fusion. So currently, as you can see in the table here in front of me, I have a bunch of gear set up. So I have the A10 Mini Pro here. And then I have an old Unify US 60, an 8-port US 60 watt switch, the 8-port model. here I have the Peplink Max Transit Duo. I got the 4 antennas on the back. You can see there. I don't have a hardwired Ethernet line going in. This is coming to you completely using 2 cellular connections. The cellular connections that I'm using in the first SIM card slot, I'm using Mint Mobile. And it's a prepaid, and in the second SIM card slot, I'm using an AT&T card. So, let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. So we have, greetings everyone. We have Joe here. I'm clicking on the comments like I'm so used to bringing them up on screen, right? We have Joe here, Tech for Fun. Greetings, Joe. Double audio is gone, it's fixed. We have TVJ in the house. TVJ says lots of new features in the new ATEM software. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that probably today a little bit. It's one of the things I wanted to mention. DJ Ware is just popped in the house. Hi, DJ Ware. How are you? Guys, I have no way of monitoring this audio. So if you could let me know, looking at the levels on the ATEM, and the levels look okay, but if I'm too loud, too low, let me know if I'm clipping or not loud enough, and I'll make the adjustments based on what you guys are telling me. So, yeah, here we are. It's Sunday afternoon. This is a real cash environment for me. In fact, it's so cash, I want you to say hello to somebody. I have Minnie Mouse here. She's sitting on my lap. There's a method to my madness, because if she's with me, she'll sleep, she'll be quiet. But if she's out and about the house, this is their room, this back room here, and they have full access to the backyard. So if she's out and about in the room, and she can, when I say access to the backyard, I mean that they could see the entire backyard and the golf course through the windows. And should she see something, she's a very barky-holic type of Chihuahua. So rather than have her go off during this test stream, I decided to put her on my lap right here, and you won't even know she's here. She'll just go right back down to sleep. All right, so we have 5 people here, 5 likes. What I'm looking for today from you guys and from this setup here is to know how this stream is coming to you. If you see any blips, if you see any pixelation, if you hear any breaking up in the audio, because this is completely coming to you over cellular bonding. And I'm testing this out because those of you who have been with me for a long time, that are in my circle on Signal, and that have watched the sports show, you've heard me talk about the fact that I'm going to be taking the Schwartz Talking Sports show on the road to remote locations, and I'm just trying to test out. The most important feature right here is testing out the Peplink Duo with the cellular bonding and the speed fusion. So what I really need to know from you guys during the course of this stream is if you see anything breaking up, if you hear anything breaking up, let me know. If it's looking good, let me know. I'm currently streaming high on the ATEM, which is usually, that means sending around 6 meg. So, and as I say that, a golf ball just hit the window in front of me. I want to put up a sign that says, if your ball is in my yard, you need to consider lessons, but I won't do that, because that's just kind of rude. But that's my personality. Wow, we have 10 people here, 6 likes. Guys, let's get the likes up to match the number of viewers. Thank you so much. Does the picture look okay? Is it bright enough? I'm not using any lighting, just natural lighting in the room. I do have 2 skylights in the room in front of me, above me, which are above the camera. And obviously I have the row of glass windows behind the camera. So a lot of light coming into the room. And yeah, hopefully everything looks okay and kind of sounds okay. All right. Let's see. Tech for Fun says, apparently YouTube blocked my comment. Lots of pops when you talk with your... Yeah, sorry, because it's closer to me normally. than it usually is, because usually I wear a V-neck. And I usually keep the mic down towards the V-neck, so it's usually maybe about an inch or two lower than it is today. So yeah, when I'm looking down at the computer, I imagine it's getting a lot of the plosives, and I do apologize for that. Let me see if I could just move it down a little bit, because I am going to be talking down towards the computer. So let's see if I get it around here, maybe. Or if I just go get the handheld attachment and just hold it, that might even work. But let me know, is that better? Is it popping as much? Because I do have to look down a little bit towards the computer to, like to say, to read the comments and all. But Joe says levels are okay. Maybe just move the mic to your collar, left or right. Yeah, that's probably better, because I can't seem to stabilize it down low. So let's do that. It fell backwards on me. All right. Is that any better? It's off to the side. Let me know. I'm looking down now. Test 1, 2. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Uh-oh. We having problems? Let's see. Let's go to output on air. Let me look at the multi-view. Cache is okay. It says it's going between, not the cache, but the bit rate is going between 589 and 615, but that's flashing, which is really weird. But it says that the cache is okay. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Okay. Is it back? Interesting. Okay. Let's see. I refreshed the YouTube studio. I still have the error message. Interesting. Let me move this a little bit like that. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Well, this is exactly what I wanted. So this is what I wanted to know. So we got 3 viewers. I guess this is not interesting to most people. Joe's watching on the big TV. I still have the error message in YouTube Studio that says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Yeah, it's weird because on the actual stream that's going, the bit rate that's going out, it's fluctuating. It's bouncing between like 588, 611, 590 something, 617. It's not like just a constant. It's kind of bouncing. So like I said earlier, the bit rate that I'm sending is streaming high, which usually equates to somewhere on average around 6 meg, right? So YouTube Studio finally updated, and it says excellent connection. So let's keep an eye on it. This is very good information for me to know. So let's go back to the comments. Do you do live on golf course because you like to golf? Oh, do you live on golf course because I like to golf? No, I don't golf. In fact, I hate golfing. I tried golfing about 25 years ago, and I just, went all in. I bought the most expensive clubs, the most expensive this, because you guys know me. That's what I do. I go all in when I get into something. And I was horrible. I was horrible. And talk about, teasing me about being a mad face. You had to see me on the golf course, man. I used to get so aggravated to the point where I almost bent one of the putters. And that's pretty hard to do. So I just decided after a while, why am I paying all this money to go out and get aggravated? I could throw, if I wanted to be aggravated, I could stay at home and just flush $20 or $30 down the toilet and receive the same results. So I gave up golf, needless to say, about 25 years ago. So Anyway, let's see. We still having some issue here. It was subtle, Joe says. Some people in Aaron's stream were having issues with, and others were not. Watching it on the big TV, Joe says. The ATEM encoders have issues with certain internet connections. Interesting, too, because this is the first time I've used the Mini in a while. I did a test stream when I was just learning how to set up the Peplink on Saturday for about 20 minutes, but I didn't stream from the ATEM Mini. I streamed from the web presenter, and little unknown to me, I wasn't even sending it over the bonding connection. I was just sending it straight out Mint Mobile. I did a 20-minute stream on Mint Mobile thinking I was sending it out to SpeedFusion, but I wasn't because of the misconfiguration that I had in the Peplink. But went out to Mint Mobile all by itself for 20 minutes, and it was without a hitch. So interesting. So let me go back to the ATEM for a second and see what everything looks okay there. Streaming for 18 minutes, it says. So, like, I mean, if you guys just real quick want to see, if I just like cut to my computer, I know you probably can't see it, but I do have the little excellent connection here down in beneath the preview. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. So, all right. Let's see, the ATEM encoders, I read that. I've had better luck with Web Presenter. Yep. Let's see, might need to change WAN smoothing to medium. DJ Ware, I gave up golf for the same reason. I feel you, DJ Ware, I feel you. Joe, can I go into the Peplink and change the WAN smoothing while I'm streaming, do you think? Let me know. You like putt-putt golf? Mini golf. Yeah, I like mini golf as well. How are we doing? Are we doing okay? I mean, is it usable? If I were to go out and I was really doing this in production, is it acceptable? Is it viewable? Or is it not watchable? I guess is the question. I mean, because let's face it, even when you watch TV, and I think, Jay, you can attest to this, when you watch reporters out in the field and they're sending the remote feed back to the studio, sometimes, I mean, it's reality, it's real time. Sometimes there are hiccups, right, that correct themselves. So I guess what I want to know is it usable, or am I, do I have to look for a different means if I was going out remotely with the show? I've never tried golf. It might stop the stream briefly. The only breakup was for about 30 seconds. Other than that, it's rock solid, and Jay says it is watchable. Okay, fair enough. Well, I mean, and the other thing I can do too is, the whole idea is this is a test, right? So I am testing at streaming high, but maybe when I go out on the road with the show, maybe I should consider just using streaming medium instead of streaming high, instead of sending 6, 5.5 to 6 meg as far as bit rate. I'll send 2 to 3 or 3.5, whatever medium works out to be in ATEM language. So TVJ says it is watchable. Cool. Well, that's the important thing that I wanted to know. So, a couple of things, might as well while I have you guys here. The other night on the Thursday night stream, had a couple of questions regarding the Wattbox, and I said I would get back to you guys with some answers on the questions. There were 3 questions actually, and So the first one I figured out on my own after playing with it the next day. That was the sub accounts. It was asked if I can create sub accounts. And remember, I said to you, yes, I can create sub accounts. But at that point in time, the level that I had played with the software, I had only figured out how to create that sub account, but giving that sub account global permission to all the sites in that cloud portal. And after digging a little deeper the next day, the answer is yes, I can create. And I was saying something to the effect on Thursday, to the effect that I can't seem to find how to make it more granular and give it so that I can give certain users access to only certain sites and not everything. Well, it can be done. I did dig a little deeper on Friday, because then I was curious myself, and it can be done with groups. You can set up groups, set up different permissions for the groups, and then assign users to whatever, the specific group. So if I wanted to say, set up, Jay and Joe as sub-users and create separate sites and give each of them access to their own site, I could do that. That's definitely a doable thing. So that was the first question. Let's see how we doing here. Looking okay. By the way, if you're wondering what's off, if some of you might have noticed, to the right of this table there, or to looking at the picture, I guess to your left of this table, there's another tripod set up. It's just got a little 7-inch monitor on it for multi-view, so I can see the actual what's going on as far as multi-view is concerned. All right, so that was the first question. The second question, I think Practical IT asked, I don't know if Jeremy's here or not today, but Jeremy asked about installing SSL certificates, because we didn't see anything I didn't see anything in the UI. So I did ask that question, 2 questions. That was one of 2 that I asked the support team. And the answer that I got really, it's unless you guys can help me out here, maybe it's just above my pay grade, but I don't think it pertains to the question that I asked. And I basically asked the question, can we install, SSL certificates so that we could access the device locally and securely? And I asked them if it was based on Linux, and if it was, potentially can we install the SSL certificate from the command line? That was the question. And the answer I got back was verbatim. I will read it to you. Our WAP boxes can be used over our API. It's an HTTP protocol. All documentation is attached to the WAP box in the support tab on our website. Of course, and then I went and I looked at the support document, and it was all instructions and information on using the API over HTTP, and there was a lot of things in there that I understood, that made sense to me, and there were a lot of things in there that were like just way over my head. So, but the answer didn't pertain to the question, or am I missing something here? Come on, you guys. DJ Ware, you're in the house. Fill me in a little bit. All right, so that was question number 2. That's the response that I got. And let's see. Uh-oh. Double audio. Oh, Jade says, there you go. I'm just pulled up my Signal chat. The third question was about pertaining to the question Joe had asked about doing, like in case of a cyber threat or ransomware or something, could the box automatically, detect it, prevent it, and shut down? So I basically asked that question, and I also asked about, will they include some AI features to maybe, help facilitate that type of thing? And I got a very interesting response. I don't know really one way or another if it's a yes or a no. So I'm going to read it to you, and you can take it for what it's worth and interpret it however you'd wish. So the answer to that question said, we can't talk about anything that is not currently released, unfortunately. If you have any other questions, please call us. So I did say I would look into the answers to those 3 questions, and those are the 3. That's at least what I can give you at this point in time. So let's see, what are we doing here? Let's go back to the comments. Boy, I really don't like reading the comments from the actual chat in the YouTube studio. All right. Stream quality is great. Do you live on a golf course? No. Seeing some shuttering in stream, check the cache. All right, so that's from before. It's good now. Jay says, I didn't see any issues. Joe said it was subtle. TVJ is saying, Joe says, watching on the big TV. TVJ mentioned about the issue with the ATEM encoders. DJ Ware says, I gave up golf. Let's see, I've never tried golf, Jay says, but I like putt-putt. It might stop. Okay, so we really don't have any more questions after Jay says it's watchable. Lowering the bandwidth and increasing the delay will always give you better reliability. That's from TVJ. Yes. Jay says, gotta go, lunchtime. Well, thanks for stopping in, Jay. Appreciate it. PE for doers, sorry. Hey, David, I'm late. I needed to run out for more evening drink. Awesome, David. Welcome. David, I still have to watch the rest of your stream. I saw like the first hour, and then I had to go because I had my show that night. But I will get to the rest of it, I do promise. And thank you for being here. This is just one of those things where I'm just testing out some cellular bonding. I have, for those of you who just arrived, I have an ATEM Mini Pro here, a Unify switch, and right here, this box with the antennas is a Peplink Max Transit Duo, and it's the only connection to the internet it has is 2 cellular connections, one from Mint Mobile and one from AT&T, and they're being bonded through the PepWave Speed Fusion cloud service. Joe says the cybersecurity question was more thinking it could be outside the WAP box, meaning have a script. Gotcha. Sorry, I guess I misinterpreted your question then, Joe. If it's detected on the network, use the outside command to immediately cut power to the entire. I got you. Yep, then that was my bag. I misinterpreted what you were asking. Tech for fun to stop. Prop. I can't see it. So I have the screen so small because in order for you to see the screen on the ATEM like that, I have mirroring on, and it just made everything so small on my desktop. Let me see if I could pull up your comment on the phone, because I honestly can't make out that word. Let's see. Propitish. I can't even say that word unless it's spelled incorrectly. I don't know. This is actually better for me, though. Curious if Verizon would be better. I don't know. In this area, I have not had luck with Verizon with my cell phone. So David says, the most interesting part of the last stream was at the timestamp I set for discussing why I decided to retire early. Yeah, I definitely will go back and check that out, David. Propagating. Okay. Laughing out loud at you holding the laptop so close. Yeah, really. Okay. So, all right. 155.34. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. All right. So, let's see. This might not be too long. There's only 4 people here, and I'm kind of got a good idea what is going on. So I need to watch it back myself and draw my own conclusions. But I do want to mention, since I am here, a couple things. July 11th, if you're available, mark your calendars. I do have that date confirmed as my July monthly stream. I know normally I don't schedule in advance. I haven't actually scheduled the stream on YouTube yet, but I have confirmed with the guest. I mentioned Thursday night that I'm going to have somebody come on next month to talk about home automation. We both have very similar businesses, although we do a lot of the same things. This gentleman does go a little bit further than I do and is very much involved in the home automation. So he uses various different platforms. His name is Nate Jocelyn. And if you want to check him out, I'm hoping by having him on not only to have a decent discussion about home automation and have him, educate us, about it more, but also to introduce him to you guys and also introduce his channel. He has a YouTube channel. He does a lot of on-site type installation videos. So so we're going to have Nate on next month at July 11th at 8 p.m. So mark your calendars for that. All right, let me know what's going on with the stream because I'm getting that error message in the YouTube studio again. So just let me know if you guys see anything. So that was it, Nate Jocelyn, July 11th at 8 p.m. His channel is called Teaching Technology. He's a good guy, and he makes pretty decent videos too. I enjoy them very much. All right. So the ATEM or Blackmagic released this week a software update version 9.5 for the ATEM switchers, primarily just the ATEM switcher lineup. I mean the ATEM Mini lineup, ATEM Mini, not the original ATEM Mini, but the Pro ISO, the Extreme ISO, family, and a couple of pretty cool updates. They included SRT support. So now the ATEM, according to this release, can stream out to YouTube if YouTube permits your channel to send SRT. I think they're still rolling it out, and some channels can do it, some channels can't. I might be wrong on that, but I think that's where that's at on YouTube's end. But Blackmagic did release support for SRT streaming, and if you go into the ATEM software, it's listed under the output menu as custom URL. You would think it would say SRT, but it says custom URL. All right. Besides the SRT support, it has a webcam out feature. Now you probably, let me bring this up. I'll try to bring it up, but you probably won't see it because it's so small. But let me switch over. Just get my stream key off the air. Let me switch over. All right, so now you should be able to see my computer. I don't think you're going to see this all too well, but up across the top under the output menu where it normally had only HDMI out, now it has webcam out, and you can actually send via the USB the multi-view to your computer, the program to your computer, or the preview to your computer. On a Mac, you got to run like QuickTime, and then it will just see the ATEM as a webcam, and if you have it set to multi-view, you'll see the multi-view on your screen. I would show that to you, but I don't have a USB cable connected right now, so that's a pretty cool addition, especially for folks who have just the ATEM Mini Pro and not the Extreme, where the Extreme has the two HDMI outs. So now the big question for a lot of people who had the ATEM Mini Pro was, how do I get my program and my multi-view out of the ATEM? It's only got the one HDMI out. Well, now with this new added feature of the webcam output, you can now run your multi-view to your computer, and you can run your program out to the HDMI out if you so choose. So let's see what we got going on here. Stream looks pretty good. Sorry, I will be at Disney in Florida on July 11th. No worries, David. My calendar is marked for Nate stuttering. It's back. Interesting. Yeah. So I'll have to do some more testing. But again, fortunately, I think at the bar when we do the show at Locals here, it's called Locals Tavern. Fortunately, I will be hardwired into their internet. So if their internet's decent, then I'll make that the primary connection and use the two cellular connections as a failback. So I should be okay. But overall, hopefully it's acceptable. All right, so that's that. So those are the two main updates. Now, the release also included the ability to sync files to the Blackmagic Cloud. That's not something that I do. It says it also added support for network storage, so I'm assuming that means you can bring your recorded files right from the SD card right to, let's say, a NAS without having to go through, like what I currently do is I'm using FileZilla now to transfer my files over from the drive over to the NAS. It says here now they've added support for network storage. I have not tested that out yet, but I hope to. And then there's also an instant replay feature, but that involves live video editing and integration with DaVinci Resolve, their editing software. So that's something that I probably won't play with at any time soon, but that's an option now that they released as well. All right. So Joe says it's back, and he thinks that changing smoothing to medium might help. All right, we are down to 2 people, so I'm online for 36 minutes, long enough for a test. Last couple of things, Ugreen, the NAS, Ugreen just came out with an update this week. It looks like a pretty nice update. The OS looked nice, but it wasn't mature. It has a completely different look. It's very snappy. They've fixed some issues. There were some users that were having problem with SMB connections and rsync backups. Now, I did do an rsync backup video to a Synology rsync server. I didn't happen to have any issues prior to this update being released, but I know there have been talk that some users have had issues with the backup software, and apparently that's been addressed across the board. And they added, I think it jumped from like 14 apps. I think I have double the amount of apps now in the package center, and they've added virtual machines. So like almost like Synology's virtual machine manager, where you can run virtual machines. And they've added Docker as well. But it's like the original Docker on Synology. It doesn't have the Docker Compose support like when Synology went from Docker to Container Manager. So those are just some of the upgrades and news going on with Ugreen. And yeah, so let's see. Joe says, stream may stop for a bit, but might want to try changing it and see if it helps. Yeah, why not? What do we got to lose? I could actually bring you guys into this, I guess, and show you. Let's go over to, this is the Peplink interface. This is a SpeedFusion Connect. So I'm going to go into client mode for outbound access, and I'm set to go to the closest location for me is Atlanta. And right here, what Joe's talking about WAN smoothing. So what it says is reduce the impact of packet loss and get the lowest possible latency at the expense of extra bandwidth consumption. This is suitable for streaming applications where the average bitrate requirement is much lower than the WAN's available bandwidth. So I have it set to normal. Let me just set it to medium and save and see what happens. If I lose the stream momentarily, hopefully it will come back. You guys hopefully will let me know in the comments. So let me go ahead and save that and apply the changes. And let me jump back to here and let me go to YouTube Studio. Let's see what happens. All right, let me bring it up on the phone and see if I lost it. Let's see. I think the stream is still here. Am I still with you all? So far, have not lost anything. All right, cool. It's showing no data. Now I'm getting the error code. Hopefully it will iron itself out. I am alive. Good. Cool. I just want to stay on long enough just to see if this error message goes away. Let's see, the bit rate is, oh, so now my cache is climbing. My cache is climbing to 49%. Let me go bring that back down. Yikes. Because it's eventually going to climb to a point where I lose the stream. So let's do that. Let's do this. And let's do apply. I'm up to 54% cache right now. All right, so we are back to normal. Let's see if the cache starts to relieve itself or keeps climbing.